All right, and we are live. Let's make sure we're getting out on the other side. Stream health looks good there. You turn down the volume. Okay, yeah, Missy Jenn. I'm starting to get the hang of stream size. Missy Jenn's been through a brutal couple days here with putting up with my nonsense. And good morning, everybody. It is August 4th, 2019, and I want to welcome each and every one of you. Good morning, Sam Telfer. How are you doing, sweetie? Nice to see you. Fourscore, how are you? Nice to see you. Good morning, Nathan, Missy Jenn, Angel Rose. Nice to see you. How you doing, Jen? I'm a tiny bit hungover from last night. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a while since it's been 2 months since I drank like I did last night, 6 beers. I think on the entirety of my 47-day journey, I believe I probably had, after I left Las Vegas, I had about 4 years. Hello, Cobra John. Nice to see you. Of course, the great Cobra John in the chat. We played Texas Hold'em with that gas in Wendover, Nevada, man. Cobra John said, I'm pushing all in, baby. Pushing all in. Okay, good morning, cute kitty. How are you? Nice to see you. I'm just experimenting. I'm pushing some things around. The last 2 days have really borne a lot. Number one, let me thank you all for being on the channel. This morning, the channel officially crested over 13 million views, and I'm very happy that people have given me the viewership over time. Hi, Daisy Dukes. Hey, Jay Money. How are you? I'm very appreciative of that. 13 million views is not something that comes easy, but it does show that you're putting up the content that people enjoy, and you have the depth of content. As I said, it's easy sometimes to pick the low-hanging fruit of drama to build a channel on, but let me tell you, you talk about stuff that has a very short-dated shelf life. You're talking about drama. After a week or so, nobody wants to go back and revisit that 13 million. Thank you, Nathan. Well, we may end up gotten a few out. I already took out, I hate to say, I already took out like 2.5 million views with videos that were removed. Thank you, Olivia. So I'm happy about that. Very happy about that. That just shows you're putting up content that has depth as opposed to one-off things. But it's YouTube. People do what they want to do. Yeah. Hey, Diane C. How are you doing, sweetie? Nice to see you. Let's see.
I guess it's a new one.
Yeah, I'm very happy to have Missy Jenn in the chat today. A hell of a night last night on there. It's nice to have the Rosie McNamara channel, and if you're not subscribed to the Rosie McNamara channel, that's the place where all the more adult themed content is put on over there. So it makes a nice resting place. Nobody can complain. It's on the channel. If you're over there, you're there because you want to see and have some fun over there. Yeah, I would like to talk about El Paso and Dayton because it ties in with today's beginning theme, but I'm going to get to that in a little bit, okay? Because there are some other topics to talk about here today. I do, I am subscribed to UNITONIKA, and she really, How Great Thou Art, she really knocked that out of the park. I don't know whether she used Smule to overdub her second, she put two versions together, and it was really, I've seen a lot of magnificent stuff on YouTube, and I've heard a lot of great stuff, and she really knocked it out of the park with that. And I told her so. If you're not, let's hear somebody sing it with, picking up the audio on YouTube is not the best, as we know, as I've done hundreds of audio vintage audio, listening experiences, and it doesn't always carry over real well. Hey, DF, how are you? Nice to see you today. Good morning, Amy. You went 80 this year. You deserved a good night. Yeah, I know. I went a long time without a good drink. So last night was really cool, and we knocked out a beautiful pie, which you'll see in a little bit. So, UNITONIKA, I haven't followed any of the drama over there. I'm still, it's not something that I'm keyed into. Those communities, I know there's been a lot of back and forth, toing and froing, but when somebody does something that I think is extraordinary, I'm gonna note that, and I think that that was really wonderful. Okay, no problem, Diane. We still got quite a ways to go on that. As you all know, heading off to Las Vegas on the 18th of August. Going to be meeting up, reuniting with D-Dubs, and then I'm not sure what the agenda. I believe he's going to be going on the Northwest. He's got some gear to secure some of his stuff, and he wants to spend some time up there with a friend up in Portland, which is great. As you know, in early September after Labor Day, I will be heading down the California coast and doing the California coastal swing. So, Missy Jenn, what's up with you today? What's you're doing your tractor vids? Saw some things came in yesterday.
Actually, I'm still waiting for some other things to come in to get a bundle together, and then I'm gonna make a tractor video.
How did I make you happy yesterday?
Yeah, you cleaned up the front room.
Cleaned up the front room. It looked like a bomb hit it. Good morning, Julie. How are you, sweetheart? Bedroom. Yeah, cleaned up and been doing some stuff. When I walked in the house, I was really embarrassed. Missy J, the place looked wonderful. And within about 5 days, I had Oscar Madisonized it. I had stuff all over the place.
It's like a tornado went through.
Good morning, Kim C. Yeah, it was like a tornado came through, and I kind of have that tendency not to be. I do neat work otherwise, but when it comes to housekeeping and all that, it's a little bit. I'm trying to change though. I'm trying to get better. We got clogged drains and some other things. On here, the van life update. Good morning, Uber Doobie. Good morning, Carlos. I want to thank the people that have reached out to me with suggestions for the van, for a build out in the inside of the van. Let me tell you what, that's a very small van, that ProMaster. And when you start putting things like solar on the rooftop and you start tricking it out a lot. Hey Tara, how you doing, babe? You start to lose your element of stealth in there. So as much as I appreciate, this van is just an intermediary step until I can get something better. Good morning, Kathleen Elliott. Until I can get things better, I may put a solar panel on it. I may use a portable solar panel that just folds out and goes on there. Good morning, Winky Whispers. Well, who started Boyd? Was it a specific community? Look, Boyd, there's several conflicting stories. Number one, we got Carlos Martinez resurrected in here, and you have what I call OG Boyd, which they never called themselves the Boyd, but Jeff T. Rowe, Big Daddy, Riley the Roofer. You have a core of people that have been doing the YouTube for about 10 years. But the real Boyd that people speak of started, if you were around, in the summer of 2015. And a lot of people were trying to effectively hook on to that. But you can be Boyd, but you're OG Boyd if you were around in the summer of 2015. It was really a term that was coined by vlogger puppets back in years ago. So that's what defines the Boyd. The Boyd was built around hangouts. Drury Nadav was the first one that hosted hangouts. He had an RV He had a nice Class A. He had a conversion van, and Friday nights he would have his RV chat. And let me tell you, people lined up to get on that panel. That's when the RV community was really tight. And then people, and well, why was I there? Because I had a specific interest in getting an RV. At first, I thought I might get a Prevost bus, and then I ended up buying a 1974 classic GMC motorhome and doing a restoration and selling that. So I felt like I was in the right place to get information and to get tips on RVing. But people started to come in from other communities that weren't RV related, and gradually things moved off of RVing and more onto conflict. They had this basic core of people that were didn't mind people asking for money versus, and it was all around Eric, nomadic fanatic, whether he was an e-bagger or not, and it caused this huge division among the group. And then other people came in and just wanted to have a friendly chat and really had no interest in RVs. And you put a Friday night together, you put some alcohol with it.
Hi, Bella Rose.
Hey, Bella Rose, Queen of Buffalo, nice to see you. Goldie Con, how are you? You put some alcohol in there and you have people that don't have anything really in common except a place to chat on Friday nights, and things started to split apart. The pre-drama community, some people started to filter in. So it all kind of, thank you, the blue is banging out the eye. So that was all the OG Boyd, and then I took over the Hangouts, and for the next 2 years, the next year and a half, I did a Wednesday and Saturday hangout. Saturdays were usually 7 or 8 hours, and Wednesday would be on the order of 6 hours. After a year and a half, I stopped the Wednesday and just did a Saturday one for another year on there.
Hello, my Bailey.
And the nice thing about my channel is I stand by my content. I don't take down.
Don't work too hard, Nathan.
Take care, Nathan. I don't. My hangouts are up there for all to see. It's what's known as, it's the official archives of the Boyd. You can go back and watch way back when, years ago when I started doing the Hangouts in June of 2015. They're all up. Epic meltdowns that I had, good times that we had, Halloween Hangouts, Christmas Hangouts, the whole deal. Yeah, you need your own series on Netflix, the Boyd. So that's kind of the origins of the Boyd. Since you asked, in my opinion, do I think it's any badge of honor to be OG Boyd? No, I don't think it's any particular badge of honor. If you're here and you're around the chats, then you're Boyd, right? You are Boyd. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. There's almost 7,000 videos back there. There used to be 10,000, but I had to take down some of the material and remove that, which is fine because my direction on the channel is travel and adventures. So there's the origins of the Boyd. So a lot of people that claim they're OG Boyd were actually nowhere to be seen in 2015. It was a select small number of people, and that's where I met, that's where I first encountered Marshall Elvis Travels when he had the Nomadic Assyrian Elvis Van Dweller channel, which was the longest channel name I think I ever heard on YouTube. And I said, anybody that has a channel name this long, Nomadic Assyrian Elvis Van Dweller, it's like somebody to check out. Thank you very much, Brad Rose. I appreciate that. Thank you, my friend. Got the great Brad Rose in here. The King of Buffalo. Very happy to see you. So yeah, it's you get that kind of views. It shows that you're putting out content that is enduring and long lasting, and that's what I've always geared my channel towards, doing that. So there are sometimes it's painful, sometimes it's funny. I got to be honest. I'll be laying in bed at night and I'll click on Hangouts or whatever, and it's like you hear yourself talked about. And you hear what supposedly passes for fact, and things, and usually it's swinging around Marshall and I and what's going on with in life. And it is a
Hi,
topic of,
Beryl.
hey, how you doing, Beryl? It is a topic of conversation. I realize that. But sometimes I'm there and I'm just thinking to myself, how does this non-factual information get out there? Well, somebody will come out and they'll be economic with the truth. They'll stretch something out. They'll mention it in a chat, and then it takes on a life of its own. And that's one of the downsides of YouTube is that things tend to get magnified over time, so that simple things after a course of 2 or 3 years become enormous things. But they're not rooted in factual history. Let's see, Russian collusion. Hey, Tim. So sometimes it's a little difficult to talk about, but we both put up content. You may not like the content. A lot of people, not a lot, but some people don't like it. Some people unsubscribe, and other people come aboard. It's the nature of YouTube. So there's something for everybody. Hey Sherry, hey Cornholio, how are you? Nice to see you. So I just put this offer out here. If you want really factual information, I'm perfectly willing. I don't do panel chats myself anymore. I'm geared towards putting my own content on, getting Missy Jenn vignettes within my streams. But if you want to have a sit down on panel and you want to tear into the realities and you want to go one on one, that's fine. I'll do that. You want to set the record straight. So I just put that general offer out there because there's so much misinformation. There's misinformation about Mr. X, who I think is one of the coolest and easiest going, wonderful guy to hang out with. There's misinformation on a lot of fronts, and it can take on a life of its own, and it becomes kind of dangerous. Hey, Survivor. Because new people come along and they'll just suck up the company line and put it out there. And as every week has gone by and I've listened to some of these hangouts, the claims and things get more and more outrageous. And that's going to cause problems. It's causing problems for us here on the Rancho, and that's what I kind of want to address today. Get to the main topic. I'm going to grab a cup of coffee, and I'm going to talk about threats and Rancho security and doing your own thing on YouTube. We got 165 people watching here, of which probably 40. Hey, Kenko. Probably of which 40 people. Hey, Left Wing Wacko. Probably of which 40 people are chatting. Probably 25 to 50 people are haters out there that are just listening in and lurking. They'll never make a comment because they don't want to be seen on the channel. But we all know that they're out there. And on the daily, I don't know if you saw on Friday night, I did a very short, quick hangout. And this guy named Fundy Coast, this troll named Fundy Coast came on with a threat on the live stream. I ended up taking it down, and more threats are becoming a fact of life, and that's what I want to talk about in a couple minutes. But I do put that offer if you want the straight dope on things and to get it from my particular side, that's fine. But stories over time, it's like the old telephone game. Missy Jenn will tell me something, and then I'll tell somebody else and tell another person. By the time you tell 10 people, the story's totally been shifted around. So somebody have a huge meltdown. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. You have a core of people that's very overinvested in it, and at the end of the day, all they have to do is hit the unsub button. But they can't unsub. They can't. They continue to watch, and I hate to say it, but Marshall's right. When it comes to YouTube, it's best for business, So that's what if you can I mean, think about it. If you can have a hangout and not mention this or get into the drama, you're doing a pretty good thing. So that's why I only really use an occasional live stream to address this. So people wouldn't be here if they didn't either enjoy the content, feel interested on the content, or hate the content. So it's one of those three particular choices. And what's the reason if somebody doesn't choose to walk away? Well, they think they're doing God's work, and what they say on the channel potentially. And we have tragically in El Paso somebody can pick up a weapon and take the lives of multiple people in a very short period of time. You never know who's out there watching on YouTube. You never know who. We have probably a percentage of people that are dealing with real mental health issues and are heavily medicated and aren't and may not be thinking clearly, and maybe not be thinking in terms of consequences or reality. You don't know what these people are capable of on YouTube. As I said before, we've often had not often, but once in a while, had people ride by the Rancho and send us clips of over voiceovers and things like that of what's going to happen. It's very it can be very disconcerting at times. So I'm going to grab a cup of coffee and get into the some of these specific threats and the Rancho security. Hey, Cindy Lopez.
Cindy.
I'll be right back.
Oh, thank you, Goldie. That's very kind of you. Hope everybody's having a beautiful Sunday morning or midday or early afternoon. Who is Pastor Jim? I don't know Pastor Jim. George is doing great. Already had his morning walk. Had his breakfast, had his morning hot dog.
Look at that.
He's doing great.
Huh?
I'm doing good, Kim.
Look at that
How
pie.
are
I
you
can't
doing?
wait to tear into that apple pie. And thank you to all of you who were on the hangout last night. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Alpha. That's great, Winky Whiskers. That's awesome. Yeah, this is a new t-shirt I got. Well, Rosie was going ahead. A friend came over and we went out to lunch, and he brought me this beautiful t-shirt. So I thought, well, today it's time to wear a different t-shirt.
All right. Yeah, that's the Missy Jenn. Let me tell you one thing I follow is the meeting of police chiefs and sheriffs that they have, regional meetings around the country. And
Hi,
I like to
Connie.
see, hey Connie, hey Harvey, how you doing? I like to see what they're talking about on their topics on the agenda for conventions and meetings, and they periodically will get the chiefs of city police together with county sheriff's departments, and they will state troopers, and they will put certain items on the agenda to talk about. And I've noticed over the last 4 years, then 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, that social media interventions has now moved up to like a major topic with these people. Why? Because people are using and wasting police resources on filing frivolous police reports. They're doing things like having people swatted and doing that kind of stuff. So the police, they're getting ready on a federal level to introduce a law about the swatting and things concerning social media. I know some of my friends over in the UK talk about the great levels of privacy and security they have over there, but in the United States, we're more of an open Wild West when it comes to
Hello, Joey
when it
D.
comes to things like that. Hey, Joey D. So would you agree with that, Missy Jenn, that social media problems for police are now becoming almost legion with
In the US, for sure, we don't have the privacy laws that they have in the European Union, so things are kind of out of control here.
Yeah, it's almost reached the point of getting out of hand. It's one thing to express an opinion on social media. It's another thing to get your head so wrapped up in it that somebody, two people that are in one case living in a tin can, and the other hand traveling and living in a tin can so polarize people that they need to go outside of the break the frame of social media and mess with people in real life. So I can tell you one thing, the level of threats has increased around here over the last 2 years for sure. Boxes come with little notes in them and things like. And that didn't happen recently, but I'm just saying things happen here that we don't talk about on the channel, but it's a fact of life. And I'll tell you what, one of our standard procedures now, and also YouTube is starting to take this more seriously. A lot of people think if they use VPN randomizers, and they think they're clever getting on alternative platforms, and they can't be tracked down. But you can be. Everything leaves a cyber trail. And for the last year and a half, we have fastidiously and religiously reported everything to YouTube with screenshots where possible and information. And now we've reached the point where anything else that comes down, we have a great local police liaison, a community liaison that has been extremely helpful for us here on the Rancho. In addition, we're putting out our enhancing our security here. And I will say we have, much to Missy Jenn's chagrin sometimes, I'm very open about enjoying socializing and having people visit here on the Rancho. And some people have visited without fanfare of any publicity at all and stopped by with RVs and parked them in the back. But we're stepping up our security here because I'm going to be on the road a lot. So we're going to be putting in an enhanced security system with multi-recording camera devices, some which face out on the street and some out the back of the property here. In addition, I will just note, and I'm not going to dwell on it, that Missy Jenn and I are both trained and extremely proficient with small arms here. So, and we have no hesitation if somebody violates the property line here, we'll just leave it at that. Okay, we will just leave it for that. Yeah, wasting police time and resources. That's right. So I'm upgrading. We already have a camera system, but quite frankly, it sucks. Okay, quite frankly, it sucks. So we'll be upgrading. We'll be upgrading that coming up. Okay, but I think it's the same. The other thing is road threats. I received a message today that it's showdown in Yuma. You may want to be there. Can you imagine that? To be so wrapped up in somebody traveling to Arizona and then in Mexico that people are going to put it in gear. And I'm not going to say there were no overt threats. It's just saying it's going to be a showdown in Yuma, Arizona. It almost sounds so ridiculous. It almost sounds so old west, and it's like we should strap on 6 guns, and at high noon it should be like the scene with Gary Cooper, right? In high noon, ding, ding. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous why people would go to such extraordinary lengths.
People watch too much
to get involved when all they have to do is click off and not watch, but they can't not watch. And therein lies the problem with that. Hey, Anna.
Hi, Anna.
You'll have to scroll back and hear what's new. Nice to see you. So I have to take that stuff seriously also within my own travels on the California coast. A few things have been mentioned to me about, watch your back when you pass through Southern California. I'm not going to live my life down there. I will go down there, Kitten Cat. I would stand with that, to make a stand on that. Well, that's what I'm saying, Cobra John, but I have to take everything seriously, and everything now I just put in a catalog, and then periodically I plan on going into the Santa Rosa Police Department. Has a wonderful community liaison, and YouTube has actually started to be responsible in some of these social media things, which I'm really shocked, because for 5 years when you would complain to them about this came and you'd never hear anything back. Now, finally, I guess you have to reach a certain level of subs or whatever to have a better communication path. The larger your channel becomes on YouTube, the better your communications come. Now I'm starting to actually get more engagement.
Hi, Allie.
Now I'm starting to, hey, Allie Pally. Now I'm very grateful that YouTube is ramping up their levels of intervention now, because let me tell you, they're under a lot of pressure from police and sheriff's departments, the society police and sheriff's departments all around the nation, to start to get a handle on what happens on their little corner of social media. I can't even imagine Facebook.
Kevin.
I can't even imagine Facebook. Hey, Kevin, how are you? Hey, Vanessa, how are you? Thank you. Next, I'm friendly with Dave. Am I friends with Dave? I've met Dave in person. Dave has treated Missy, Jenn, and I very well. What Dave does on his others and his other relationships with people. As I've always said, it's up to you to define your individual relationship with people. I don't worry that much, Kitten Cat, because I know the realities. But I have Missy Jenn to be concerned about too here, and I just put it out there that I don't just sit here and I don't mind hangouts that are bashing, but when it comes to people that take it to real life, I've now taken the time and effort. You saw I went by and took time to stop at the Nevada State Trooper office in Omaha, Nebraska, and file an official report against the policeman, the state trooper that illegally separated D&I and searched the vehicle there. So, it's something I don't mind doing. I can write a lot. I don't mind filling out lengthy police reports and having things on the record. Well, it is, Lindsay, and I don't care what people, hangouts are hangouts, and it's a great way for people to vent. It really is. But when you start taking it over to, threats of, coming to Las Vegas on the 18th and blah, 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 and, see you out on the chooch, and big surprises for you. So, thank you. Next. But I don't know. You have to really be wrapped into it to really want to hit the road and have some type of intervention. And as I said yesterday, if it happens in Mexico, federales won't mess around down there. There's too much at stake. You've been to Algodondes. You saw the guy standing right there. I never saw a guy with a machine gun in Tijuana, but sure as hell there was a guy.
Military at the border.
Yeah, they got real military.
On the Mexican side.
Yeah, and what was that guy holding in his hand?
I don't know what kind of firearm they were holding.
Well, it was an automatic weapon with a hell of a big clipping
It was some kind of
magazine.
It was some kind of a
Yeah, Lindsay, and that was over a year, and that was, as somebody else says, come up to present time. When does that get undone? And all the terrible,
full auto
rifle, trolling and terrible things that were said to him and things, they don't count for a hill of beans. It's all a one-sided thing. People get pushed to a point where they're going to blow their top, and he's done said some really reprehensible crap. But sometimes you can be pushed to a point. But Lindsay, you only remember one side of you don't remember the other side of the story, the daily bashings and goadings and things like that. So, we always remember what conveniently fits the script. I don't know. Is Scientology still around? I have no concept if Scientology is still around or not. So, like I said, some really bad stuff, but he owns the consequences. That's his problem, to own that. Okay, so words are things that are never forgotten. That's right. Hi, Free Birdie. How are you? But that. If you insist on dwelling on that, then that's life moves on. Who knows, Anna? I don't know. I did a call out requesting Dave to not do that, but I'm nobody on YouTube. Dave generally does the things that Dave says he's going to do. He almost inevitably always does. I don't have any particular pull with Dave. He's going to do, thank you, Free Birdie, he's going to do what he wants to do. And I'm not going to be able to stop Dave. Hey, Mel. Dave has already shown that he has the ability to put it in gear. What I thought was, and I got to be honest, dumb stunt to drive up to Detroit and all around there. Okay, to drive out to Chicago and confront Marshall in a forest preserve. So generally, if Dave says he's going to do something, you can pretty much bet that Dave's going to do it, because Dave is one of those people that doesn't make idle threats and things. So I just don't want to see anybody be hurt over social media. Rosie, you're drinking that coffee so good, I'm going to make a pot. This is, I don't know how much more Tim Hortons. We must be working down.
This is Tim Hortons.
How much is left of the Tims? I've been so good.
I'm trying to only make it on the weekends.
There we go. It's true, Kitten Cat. When people say stupid stuff, as Kitten Cat said, Dave was invited by both these people. When people say dumb, stupid stuff, they leave an open invitation to calamity, and that's very true, Kitten Cat. So you got to learn a lesson about that. If we choose to forget, it's that saying it's okay. It's like saying you forget 9/11. My opinion, Lindsay, is if you only recall half of the story, then you're not getting the whole story. People selectively remember what Marshall said, but they don't ever talk about the other side of the. He's done a lot of stupid and horrendous stuff. But there's a lot of stuff that's made up and a lot of things that have been just plain wrong. It doesn't matter. I can recall him sitting there day after day running hangouts and running him into the ground. Lindsay, how much would you sit by and take before you strike back? It was a terrible thing that he said. Absolutely terrible. And I think if he could take those words back, he probably would. But that's somebody that doesn't have the ability to hold their cool and just shoots out something dumb out of their and reprehensible out of their mouth. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Kitten Cat. But only as a result of, you got to understand, Kitten Cat. When it comes to Dave and Becca, who drew first blood? There's the situation. There's the reality of things. That's what came upon the scene first. Was Dave coming in, and that's what kicked off the whole thing. If he hadn't have come in, we would have gone down that path. So, I consider myself friendly with Dave, but I have to realize the reality of what went before. Okay. Yeah, we agree to disagree, and I agree with you, Lindsay, that was a reprehensible thing for Marshall to say to Tucker and about Tucker's family, because I like Tucker a lot. Okay. Getting anxious lately with shootings. Well, shootings beget shootings. Maybe if people stop enabling.
Don.
Think about it. Yeah, well, maybe if people stopped watching, it would get better too, sugar. Right? If on one hand, people say they don't like what Elvis and I do, on the other hand, they continue to watch. So you can't win for losing. Hey, Dawn, how are you? It's so easy just to take the subscription box, just close it out and unsub and block, and you'll never see it again. Oh, you got your coffee percolating. It's not a question of gambling, Alpha Wolf. It's a question that we have a long history that people that have come on 75% of the people that are involved in the daily hangouts now weren't even here a year ago. They don't even know the history, the good times in person that Marshall and I have shared in the past, whether it's Las Vegas, whether it's Chicago. I'm not just gonna chuck that aside. Just be, and it's I meet people. I met Dave a couple times. It's not somebody that I'm just going to throw by the wayside. There's a human being there, and I'm not going to just throw him by the wayside. I mean, we have a lot of history. We were on a lot of hangouts together. We have the shared love of traveling. We have the shared love of urban boondocking. And believe me, when we're out on the road and we're traveling, we're not talking about this stuff and laying plots and plans for this. We're just living life. And when he expressed to me that he really hoped that I could build a generator box for him, I was happy to do so. I thought do a good deed. Maybe he'll do some good deeds in return. And I think the last 2 months and 3 months in particular has been very calm. But people cannot come unhinged from the past, and therein lies the problem. Thank you, Dawn. It was fun baking last night. Yeah, well, that's what I say. Uber. Dee's expressed some things to me, and also some things in other chats that you may not be aware of on there. But yeah, he is stupid with some of the stuff that he does. Not everyone else, so yeah, he has to own that stuff. So I agree. We all never like our friends. You make a very good point, Uber Goober. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. That's correct, and I would hold him as accountable as anybody else for that. But words are one thing. Putting it in gear in real life is something else, and therein lies the difference. It's not your problem, Kit and Kat. It's your problem when you choose to be on there on the daily and plug into it when you could walk away and enjoy your retirement. I like it when people get along. I like it when people have good times together and laugh and bake pies and meet up and have road meetups. That's the best of the best to me. To meet Bella Rose in Buffalo and her wonderful husband, to meet KM in Toronto and be able to sit down. These people had changed opinions. To meet Andrea W. when we all sat down, changed opinion. To meet Lady T, changed opinion. The more we meet, and the more we interact, the more we understand each other, and the more we understand what's nonsense and what's not nonsense on social media. Oh my goodness, left wing wacko! My soon-to-be ex-wife wants to go kayaking. this afternoon. I'm going to drill holes in her kayak. She will be, my goodness. Wow. Wow. Well, that'll be your doing then, Kitten Kat, you know, you and your ilk. Yeah, and I'm just saying, meeting people in real life is absolutely wonderful. It just so pushes things above everyday life and what happens on social media. And I'm very lucky, you know, meeting IRC Bully, meeting Desert Donnie, so many people over the years I've met, and it's been wonderful. It's been wonderful. You cannot excuse some, but not others, and that seems to be an issue. Oh, I call a spade, Lindsay. You just have selective, you know, selective recall about what I've said or what I haven't said. And I'll repeat it again for you. Some of the things that Marshall has said have been absolutely reprehensible. Okay, and he's paid a price and will continue to pay a price for that. Okay, and people that are friendly with him will pay the price for that too. All right, so I've put that out there very clearly so that there can be no mistaking about that. And he lives with the consequences like that. He has the ability to regulate and govern his life just like I do. I always hope for a better day, but I can tell you what, compared to 3 years ago, 2 years, and 1 year ago, things are so much better today than they were back then. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and get the pie now. We're going to cut a little bit of the pie. If you have any questions, Dawn says, I love the content and world you bring to me, parts of America I've never seen or have. That's, or never likely to see. That's the real fun to me on YouTube. To travel, to chooch. You see how many people in the community now are out there chooching and going on chooches and stuff. I'm very proud that I brought that to, I'm very proud that I brought that to YouTube. To see people out there sharing their lives and sharing their communities and showing the sights of their places. To me, that's the best part of YouTube. Okay? That is what's really fun. That's fine, Lindsay. I apologize then. I'm just saying that there's two sides to every coin. One side hardly ever gets acknowledged on here. I'm going to go ahead and get the pie out here.
I know, Ace. I've been losing weight. Thank you, Glinda. Yeah, this is another new one that I got. That's in my collection of Snoopy t-shirts. This is a new one and I thought I'll show it off today. Hi, Frank. I might later on make a video. I am going to make a video for the collab channel. Jenn and Rosie reality TV channel.
All right, Missy Jenn, there's your pie.
Not sure what I'm going to be doing. I might.
You got some bonus pieces on there.
Thank you, honey. I might wet that t-shirt. Hello, Holly. I got all kinds of... Hello, Miss Coeli. Thank you. Love to you, too. I got all kinds of things that I want to do. I got several different tractor videos that I want to do, but there are still a few items missing. So...
Woo! There it is. There it is. There's a nice looking pie there. Pure apple. Pure apple. I'll let Jen do her. You know, Jen eats healthy, so she's happy, and I'm happy. I'm looking forward to her next infusion in October. Well, because I came to realize both sides of the story. That's why, Kitten Cat. When I weighed out things about the two sides of the story, I said it wasn't worth it. Plus, I have a long history of personally spending time, and I know the way he is in real life. To me, that eventually made it worth it. Was that reprehensible? Yes, it was. I made the crust also, Mel Mel. I did. I've never had apple pie with cheese.
These
Like the
apples
bakery.
have been grown on the Rancho.
I rarely eat anybody else's baked goods. The only thing I ever ate in the way of baked goods, besides the bakery in Chicago, the Italian bakery we went to, was a Dunkin' Donuts original old-fashioned donut in the morning. That's it. I'd be too lazy. I'd be too lazy to open up a bakery. You got to be there at like 3 o'clock in the morning to start making the donuts and stuff.
But 8 a.m. everything has to be on the shelf, ready for sale.
I speak my mind, Kitten Cat, like you do. Okay, you have your information and your misinformation. So you would say I have my information and my misinformation.
Thank you, Ace.
What do you think, Jen?
It's very delicious.
Real apples, no cinnamon, no nutmeg. You get those.
Yeah, it's a really
you get
nice.
those apples. You get those apples shining through. Yeah, Diane, I don't really eat many baked goods.
Yeah, it's got the original apple flavor.
Yeah, it doesn't get, you put cinnamon in and you start putting other things in. When I make an apple pie, I want that apple flavor to shine through. Correct, zombie. Absolutely correct. No, Kitten Cat, I'm not going to give any, I'm done talking about it. I'm enjoying my pie now. Good. Yeah, Quinny, it is true. Zombie Toothless Bulldog hit the nail on the head. Kenko, you were funny last night. Yeah, that's Uber Goober. That's I think that's the correct. I think not correct, but I think that's the. I think that's the appropriate response. Well, Diane will be hitting that Jewish deli and bakery down there. That's for sure. We'll have a good time. I'm looking forward to seeing you again, Diane. I didn't add a lot of sugar too, so it's you really get the apple flavor.
That's right. It tastes just like as if you take the apple from the tree.
And I think that's a mistake that some people make when they make the pie. Well, that's what I said. That really is true, Free Birdie. It is unfortunate how new people come along and believe the opinions of people here are factual truths. That's right. That's the real sad thing when you see people that have only come along in the last year that didn't live through the backstory, and they absorb things that not only things that are true but things that aren't true. You know what, Diane? I don't generally go for chain places. I like to have the original mom and pop. I like to have the original mom and pop places. That's what I really enjoy seeing. That's what I enjoy seeing. All right. Yeah, new people take pause. Mike Jetson, I've never really made ice cream before. I've never really made ice cream. I didn't really want to buy an ice cream maker and get all involved in that. I'm trying to get rid of stuff. That's right, Mel Mel. I'll try not to make assumptions. I did when I first started on YouTube, but quickly learned it's not the best way. Sherry says, I have no food in the house, but vanilla ice cream. Guess I need to shop. Yeah, Mike, it's just a space requirement here. I like to do the minimum. I can't wait, Uber Goober. I love you, honey. I love you. You are one of the true lights of YouTube. I think Uber Goober lady's Hungarian, man. And once in a while, woo, she gets that fire in her, man, and it's like, boo, wow. You talk about somebody that's very watchable on YouTube. Yeah, the channels you land in can really affect how you think about other channels. That's correct. That's correct. That's why I say if you want to get the real history and things, I'm glad to panel up with people and talk to them about it. That's for sure. Okay. You're welcome, Tim. Thank you. I just think I just enjoy it. How you doing, Mouse Toast? I love that when Missy Jenn speaks German. Yeah, thumbs up are most appreciated. Why'd you make about a turd for being played by Dave? I don't know, Carlos, because there's a basic part of me that enjoys Kit and Kat very much for the outspoken nature of Kit and Kat. And Kit and Kat makes me stop and think once in a while and think about some stuff, which is a good thing on here. So I appreciate. I can take the humor. You know, I can take it. Yeah, I look for small little places, Diane. I tend to be an experimenter to go out and try to find maybe a new deli that's opening up, or some little out of the way hole in the wall that might have something very special. I rarely these days go mainstream on things. You know, because we spent time in Studio City down there and we enjoyed it. Now I want to go down to a deeper level. Goober. Yeah, she will tan one's arse. I love Tucker. He's funny. I like his outspoken nature too. And he really picks up the battle axe and goes for it, you know. And I've always enjoyed Tucker for years, even when he was trolling me on Tribes Chat as what was he? How was his name? Come on, zombie toothless bulldog. What was his name? Oh, Tucker Poon. Yeah, when he was trolling me as Tucker Poon on the on a tribe called Cookies Chat. Even then, I still enjoy. I didn't even know it was Dave, because everybody thought that Dave had disappeared for a while, but Dave was undercover as Tucker Poon over in Tribes Chat on the daily. People don't know that. And some days he would be nice to me, and some days he wouldn't. He is a nice guy. Hey, Sean. I just enjoy his spirit, his tenacity, his willingness to go on with his life and live it, and he can really appreciate that one day at a time aspect of having that. Yeah, I like meringues too, Allie. I know, Mel. It's That's the problem here is that new people come along and they don't really know the full backstory on things. They assume like things like Marshall, I just hang out with him like it happened this year or something. Oh, big TV's going to put my dogs out. Is Nicole in here? I missed it. She must be. I enjoyed her morning talk today. I'm looking forward to her content meeting up with Yasmin tomorrow. I think that's going to be epic. How you doing, Nicole? How you doing, sweetie? Man, that pie was good. Okay. Take care, Mel Mel. I'm doing good. Enjoyed your morning chooch today. Free Birdie says, I make healthy ice cream, freeze some berries or pineapple, put in a vitamin with coconut cream and some stevia. That sounds pretty good. Uber goober lady. Mrs. Coelho said, I'm confused. So Dave is talking or is not Dave, not RV David. Good God, no. Good God, no. No. They're totally different people. Totally different people. Not even remotely associated at polar opposite ends of life. You know, my problem with RV Davey wasn't about, well, I do have a problem with his past, but that's an association thing. He paid his debt to society, but every society is a different society. This is YouTube, and as I can attest, things happen. Okay, people, you can't change people's feelings, but the thing he did that I didn't like was putting my name in his mouth on a daily for almost the whole month of June, raking me over the coals, misgendering and all that. That's his big mistake. Okay, so that's it, so, and I already went down that road in 2015 with having somebody on my panel, Music Man, and that gave me a whole crap load of trouble before I knew anything about the repercussions of live chats and trolls and all that stuff. I don't think Norm donates, Kitten Cat. Norm's money stays in his pocket. But if you believe that there aren't people that quietly give because they feel like they don't want to see somebody in dire straits, well, that's why so much of it I think is going underground on PayPal now. That's the reality. If you want to hit a bar mitzvah, it might take place on Friday or Saturday night. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to crash another bar mitzvah. Hey, Bob Sanders. So I'm not well. It's maybe he wanted to get on my panel, and I refused that when I was still doing panel chats. That's my right. And then he just went off on his way. Well, that's what I'm saying, Alpha and Omega. That thought is in my mind too. That thought is in my mind too. But mainly, it's just the terrible month of June with just night and hangout after hangout after hangout after hangout, and just the bash fest. Oh, just saying in case you want to crash one, huh? I don't care money, but to say he's in need to me is well, I could, Holly, but we can't force people what to do in life. What would I say about about an artist that's determined, or a musician that's determined not to work and just be creative and comes on YouTube, of which there's probably 100,000, and they ask people to give them support while they pursue their career as a musician. or artists that come on and peddle their wares and want support and have the Patreons and the super chats and all that. And they have no intention of working a job. A job is not always the answer in life. If he feels like he's a what would I call a independent artist, and I use that in quotations, and an entertainer. How is that different from somebody that holds themselves out as a painter or a musician? How many musicians fail? Hey, Richard. Well, a lot of people do, Holly. That's the reality of it. We cannot tell other people how to live their lives. We can suggest, but we can't, it's he like all of you, has a right, being over 21 years of age, to make his own decisions, good or bad, and live with the consequences of that. Live with the consequences of that. Well, Kim C, that's what I'm saying. I use quotations. That's all. I'm just saying. There's a lot of people that you'll see on YouTube that do not work. What would I say about the people on disability that aren't really entitled to disability? What would I say about that? Is that any better? Yeah. Whisper words. Alpha and Omega, it's not making excuses. It's talking about real life issues that give context to his lifestyle. And whether you accept that or not, that's fine. I'm not here to twist anybody's arms. I'm here to offer my own opinion. Yeah, eating pie. When Cooper told me to shut my pie hole. that was that was pretty funny. That was pretty funny. No, I've never. What disability would I qualify for? I'm not on any hypertension medications, no cholesterol medications, only testosterone blocker and oral estradiol. I've had no issues, mental issues. I've had no desire nor need to pursue disability ever. Never, never, never. But for the people that are legitimately on it, we have the population. Yeah, I know, I know, Susan. How dare you be healthy? We have the equivalent of the states of New England now on disability in this country. So, yeah, gains your disability. You don't. Yeah, Bergs claims you're on disability for general dysphoria. You don't get on disability for general dysphoria. You go into counseling and you go through the trial by fire of real time living. You dress for a year, well, at least in my day, you had to dress for a year before you got hormones, and you went through a real trial by fire with counseling and all that. That doesn't qualify you for disability. Now, how in the hell can you be on disability for gender dysphoria? I mean, it's something that you live with. It's in your, the government's not going to support gender dysphoria. Alpha said, all you got to do is breathe in California and your disability. Well, I would say that about a lot of other things too. Why does Marshall drive at night when no help is open? Because of you've got to drive at night through the desert and things because of the heat. If you break down, at least you have maybe cell communications. And even in the night, you can have emergency roadside help come and get you. I think it's smart. I think it's smart to travel at nighttime in the desert. I did, Diane. Diane, I don't want to plan a lot of things. I just want to come down, pop by. People say a lot of dumb shit on here. I'm retired, Bubba. Being educated, because I work part-time for a credentialing and compliance medical firm in Las Vegas. So, and I haven't done anything for them for weeks, so it's one reason I got to go down to Vegas anyway. I just have to get them fitted to my frame. Yeah, I know there's sites in museums. I'm just there to spend time with you, Diane. I don't really care about that stuff. it's spending time with you and just hanging out and freestyling and driving around and chooching. That's the fun stuff. I do have a pension, Bubba. I do. Viva Las Vegas! I don't plan on drawing Social Security till I'm 70 years old. Plus, I've saved some money too. It's not, I can't afford a camper van, but I'm not hurting to pay my bills and to take care of this place. Who's there? Missy Jenn's on the phone to Germany. I'm thinking about the video. Yeah, it's fun to chooch around in your Mustang GT. You can show the sights down there. It's 67, right? Well, I'm gonna wait till I'm 70. I think my genes probably work great. Whiskey, oi, look, man. Oh, thank you, Winky, and thank you to the new people that have come on board. I'm very appreciative in the growth of the channel. Also, I'm over 700 people on the Rosie McNamara channel. I'm very happy about that. If I get to 1,000 on there, then I can live stream from my cell phone. So I'm hoping to do that. If you're not subscribed to the Rosie McNamara channel, even if you're not going to watch all the craziness, Thank you, Light Switch. We had a lot of fun last night baking. Man, I had so much fun. I haven't had 6 beers like last night, man. I knocked back 6 beers. And Cheryl said, I've been moved to the long-term floor of the hospital. Love to visit me. Okay, Cheryl, keep me posted, please, honey, and God bless you. What was your favorite elbow fail of all time? Let me think about that. Oh, I guess for me, Kit and Kat, it would be the time that we were in Las Vegas and we got the royal boot out of the Bellagio hotel, and we were told never to return again to the Bellagio. First of all, we rolled up to the valet. Okay, and Bobby was driving. And Marshall just has his regular, I don't know, shirt on or whatever. And he wanted to put on his Paisley Elvis shirt. So we're in the valet area at the Bellagio. He steps out of the car and he takes off his shirt, right? And he's standing there by Bobby's truck, going to change his shirt. And all of a sudden, the valet people come running out. No, I mean, you got people with Lamborghinis, convertible Mercedes Benz, and all pulling up Rolls Royce, and here's Elvis taking his shirt off, and they're like, the valets come over, and one of them took off their coat, and he's standing behind Bobby's door, and he's giving him some cover to change his shirt. So we go into the Bellagio. And I'm looking around. I'm gathering material for a cinematic video on the Bellagio, which you can see on the channel if you enjoy the cinematic videos. And we're walking around, and all of a sudden, I saw Marshall was doing a live stream, and he was asking people, for taxes or whatever. And the next thing I know, security shows up, right? And they're like, "Hey, we got to all have a talk." Right? Evidently, a troll or a couple of the trolls had called security at the Bellagio and reported that there was some guy, as they said, some bum soliciting money in the conservatory. Well, that doesn't fly. That doesn't fly with Bellagio. So all of a sudden, I got a male security guard in a nice jacket and a female security in a nice jacket, and they say, you gotta go. you got to go and don't come back here again. We got your pictures and all that stuff. I'm like, I'm not even with this guy. I'm just taking pictures and doing video for YouTube. They're like, he's like, oh, you're part of the gang. So the funny thing is, when we're being escorted out, Marshall's like, oh, I got to use the bathrooms. And the security guard's like, okay. And he proceeds to walk towards the ladies' room. And the security guard is like, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. And we just got the royal boot right out the door right there. So that's my, that's my most epic memory besides the time walking down on Fremont Street past the Chippendales booth. And I have a video of that. He takes off his shirt. I can be a Chippendale too. And the guys at the Chippendale booth are like, Of course, I've done some dumb. You tell you about some of the dumb stuff I've done and some of the places I've gotten kicked out of on YouTube. Yeah, Jordan Blue. I've had the Bacchanal buffet in Vegas, but God, honey, I'm not going to throw down the money for that. It's just too wasteful. Not wasteful, but it's a meal. I'm all about. I can't wait to get down to the California hotel and get that $9.99 prime rib special. Oh, Diane, let's just plan it when we get down there. We don't have to we'll just play it by ear. I can't even tell you what day I'm going to be in Studio City down in that area. Good to see you, Michelle. Yeah, so I'm saying there's that was funny. I mean, I got a million stories, many of which have never been told. Club stories and all that. Our nights at the Piranha Club down there too. That's fine, Zombie Toothless Bulldog. I mean, I got my own core on here too. I enjoy, yeah, all great memories, Bella Rose, all good stuff. You can see that on all the playlists. Go back and watch Missy Jenn and I in San Diego, 2015, 16, 17. Reno, 2013, our epic trip to Reno. My Marilyn Monroe moment in my skirt. The Reno pub zombie crawl, the Missy Jenn's trips and I's summer vacation to Virginia City, Carson City. Trip back to Missouri for Jen to visit her family. Took her all around 7,636 mile journey all through the South. And then there's so many great things in the playlist down there. What happened to Dressing Elbow? I don't know. Kit and Kat, we never really talked about it. Hey, ladies and gentlemen at the round table. I didn't really hear it again. He had a plan of wanting to pimp me out on the Las Vegas Strip. So it's crazy. We tried to do that D&I, and it was bad. A little too much action too fast. It just went crazy. Hey, Hippie. How are you doing, Hippie? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. So there'll be good times coming up. He's supposed to be, we're supposed to do the Las Vegas AVN coming up. And I want to talk another thing too about coming to the Rancho. Diane, yeah, it'll have to be a day-to-day thing. I think that they can get you in just on a day use there. It'll probably be a weekday, so it'll be fine. Border police, what I know about giving license. Sounds like someone might be in for a rough time. Well, I don't know which border police. Jordan Blue, haven't been down to Algodondes. Like any town in Mexico or on the United States, there's nothing on the U.S. side of Algodondes except a metal gate and a turnstile that you walk through, a full 8-foot turnstile within a cage, okay? Nobody's at the border. only Americans lined up, just walking through, you know, and they walk through. They don't have to show anything. There's no border control. Just like Tijuana, you walk through a gate and you're in Mexico. There's no border. There's no border security or border control. There's no United States, the border patrol may be up in the hills or something like that. They may be there. But once you're in Mexico, you're in Mexico. There's nothing to prevent you from walking in. And then you go back, and then that's where you take a little more time to come across the border and the other. It's very slow. Yeah, I was there a week ago, so I'm pretty sure about that. So, yeah, I'm about ready to shut down. It's been an hour and 20 minutes anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and close this out. I'll be putting more content. I have Q&A on the regular channel here. Trip travels, future stuff. I did want to talk about what if they suspect someone is there for drugs. Jordan Blue, my thought would be that they get hundreds of unsolicited calls in a week from, and the person's not going to give their name or anything like that. It's going to be an anonymous tip, and they don't have the resources to pursue that. And you can't intervene. You can try to prevent a crime from happening, but the law only gets involved when a crime is, you can only bust somebody when they commit the crime, not because of intention. So they're not going to pursue that. Yeah, they're not gonna take the time to look at. They're not gonna be involved in that at all. They're not gonna, they got bigger fish to fry than some anonymous call about somebody that may or may not be doing something down there. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna end the stream. Jordan Blue, wonderful to see you on there. I have no idea, Kit and Kat. We did not go that deep, but it's all a dental and medical town down there. Shop after shop after shop after shop. You can go back and look at the videos. If you're interested in Algodondes, check out Missy Jenn and I's 7,636 mile journey around America. The Jimmy Swaggart video is on there, meeting Jimmy Swaggart and going to his service, Louisiana, Mississippi, Louisiana, Tallahassee, meetups in Florida, the whole works, and you can see that on there as well. Our rolling over to Algodondes. I may or may not be on later, Keith. Depends on what I get done around here. You all have a wonderful day, and thanks so much for being along. Woo!